I thought it was necessary since there is some confusion and misunderstanding with respect to the fiscal measures that this government has introduced since it came into office. I thought it was necessary to do an illustration. I've done it by way of a PowerPoint presentation. So can we go to the first slide, please? Second one. All right. I am not seeing it clearly. Is the media seeing this clearly? Can you read it? Yes. Okay. Now, this passed without much attention that as of the 1st of December 2015, we increased the cap on persons who receive both the National Insurance Pension and the Senior Citizens Pension. The previous cap on these two benefits was $4,500. It is now $5,000. We have been told by the Ministry of Social Development that just over 27,000 pensioners have benefited from this increase. And what it means is that pensioners in receipt of both the National Insurance Pension and the Senior Citizen Pension are receiving increases of up to $6,000 per year or $500 per month. And I thought it was necessary to let you all know this in the context of, comments people have made about the adjustments to the VAT regime. Because here you have 27,000 pensioners who are now getting an additional $500 per month. And it's also one of our manifesto promises that we have already fulfilled. Next slide, please. All right. The next thing that is happening is that we've increased the personal income tax exemption limit from $60,000 a year to $72,000. What this means is that individuals earning a personal income of $6,000 or less per month are now exempted from pay as you earn from income tax and will not be required to file income tax returns. By the way, I've asked the Communications Ministry to print copies of this document to give it to you at the end of this presentation. Could I go to the next slide, please? Approximately 59,000 people fall in the bracket $5,000 per month to $6,000 per month. Previously, anybody earning $5,000 or less was exempt from tax, and we now have anybody earning $6,000 a month or less, which is benefiting 59,000 taxpayers. And when you take the total of persons who are in the 6,000 per month or less bracket, you get 302,000 persons are now exempted from paying tax on their incomes because their incomes fall below $6,000. And as an example, your typical taxpayer who earns $6,000 will now get an additional $210 per month in their pay packet in terms of additional income available to them. Could I go to the next slide, please? Done some comparisons here. So previously, somebody earning $6,000 a month, their PAYE or income tax per month would have been $210. Under the new system, which is effective the 1st of January, so it's effective for the year of income 2016, their tax is zero. Somebody earning $7,000 under the old system of a personal allowance of $60,000, their monthly tax would have been $455. It's now $205. And as you go along, we've done it up to $12,000. Somebody earning $8,000 a month, their monthly tax would have been $700 a month under the old system. But under the new system, effective January 1st this year, they only pay $450. So for these 59,000 persons, they are getting in excess of $200 additional in their pay packets every month because of the increase in the personal allowance. Let's move to the next slide, please. Now, this is the changes to the VAT schedule. We did a calculation, and I have provided it for you. You will get it printed. That we looked at households earning between $3,000 a month and $7,000 a month, and we did a calculation which shows us that they could spend as little as $50.86 more when purchasing food items using the new VAT system. And it's based on a survey done by the Central Statistical Office in November 2015, so it's very current, where the CSO surveyed 34% of households in Trinidad and Tobago and used the average price of food in 15 areas in Trinidad and Tobago, thereby creating a comprehensive basket of goods and prices. And based on this basket of goods, the following is a tabular representation of what is actually going to happen. Next slide, please. So we look at fish, for example, fresh fish. It is 0 rated, so there will be no increase in price. We look at imported saltfish, that the November price was $29.62. That will now go up to $33.32. Sardines, currently $6.47, remain at $6.47. Full cream milk will go from $10.23 to $11.51, and so on. So we've actually looked at a complete basket of goods that persons would use. Actually, I was calling from the second slide. I'm sorry. Can you put it back up again? Let me see what they're looking at. Okay. So white bread, $6.64 in November 2015. The VAT adjusted price is also $6.64. Brown rice, $20.33 now, $20.33 when the new VAT system comes into place. White flour, $14.21, also $14.21 when the new system comes into place. So if you go through this, looked at bread, rice, flour, cornflakes, macaroni, cricks, pork, chicken, pigtail, corned beef, fresh fish, salt fish. Next slide, please. Canned sardines, full cream milk, condensed milk, evaporated milk, etc., powdered milk, cheddar cheese, eggs, margarine, oil. Next slide, please. Tomatoes, carrots, peas, potatoes, brown sugar, onions, baby formula, and so on. And if you go to the final slide, please. Soft drinks, orange juice, and so on. And the average expenditure of this target group is $777 per month as we speak, and we expect it to go up to $828 per month. So that's how we get the $50.86. It's not arbitrary, it's not by VAPs. But the point that needs to be made is, whereas we've done an analysis of 1/3 of households in Trinidad and Tobago, and we've come up with an increase in their food bill of about $51 per month, I want to go back to what I said earlier. Pensioners are getting an increase in terms of the total amount available to them if they have NIS as well, $500, which is 10 times the increase in food prices with the new VAT system. And taxpayers are getting at least $200 more in disposable income every month, which is 4 times the projected increase in VAT. So the net effect of the increase in the personal allowance and the increase in the cap on pensions is that the additional disposable income available to pensioners and ordinary households and taxpayers is between 4 and 10 times the increase in price that we expect as a result of the changes to the VAT system. The critics are not noticing, or deliberately or otherwise, that we have increased the personal allowance and therefore people will get more money in their pocket, and that we've increased the cap on pensions. And I might add, if you go to the next slide, go again, right. There are a number of items on which duty is suspended, such as meat, salted fish, milk and cream. There's a whole series of things where the duty is now zero on a number of items. So when you take into account the fact that duty has been suspended on a number of food items, you take into account the increase in the cap in pensions, you take into account the increase in personal allowance, you will see the net effect of the changes we have made is extremely positive, and people would in fact be far better off under these measures than they were before the new PLM government came into office. So I thought it was necessary to tell you this, and as I said, we're going to print this. So has it been printed, Mr. Reek? You could circulate it if it has already been printed. So you could actually look at the figures yourself, do your own analysis, and make your own comparisons. But I want to stress that nobody seems to be acknowledging that with the change in the personal allowance, persons will get at least $200 more per month in their pocket every month, and that pensioners who get NIS will also be getting an additional $500 per month, way in excess of any changes. So that's my purpose here today.